Hey guys, Kristen with Expert Credit Suites here. So today I just want to reinforce how simple your dispute should actually be, okay? Remember, no templates, no pursuant tos, no Congress says, no, I'm gonna sue you, no this, that, and the third, okay? And just remember that it's also illegal to state that you're gonna sue someone when you're actually not going to. Empty threats get you nowhere. So anywho, look at the screen. You're going to see that the actual information right here on the dispute letter is the actual information directly from this client's credit report. And it's so simple, okay? So for example, there is a very short descriptor which just basically says why that dispute letter is being sent, right? I would like a new credit report that reflects the changes after you do an investigation on these inaccuracies, because I just don't understand why they're on here to begin with, okay? And then everything is very simply listed. The invalid data last activity, TransUnion shows 7/18, Experian 8/18, and Equifax 1/18. Now, that's not that big of a difference. I see things that are off by like 5 years. That's a really big difference. But unfortunately for this account, that was really the only thing that was off, okay? So the next one, it's basically the same. Okay, now we have a late payment on Nissan, so I've never been late, update to paid as agreed, because remember, you want to force them to do an investigation. They're not going to be able to prove that you were late, because the only legal form of verification for a late payment is for them to actually provide the bank statement belonging to the bank or whoever the hell they are, showing when your payment was actually accepted into their account. And they're never going to do that, right? So it can't be verified, okay? So only dispute 1 or 2 late payments at a time. Do not dispute 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is not worth it. If you have 10 late payments, that whole account needs to come off, okay? Don't even bother with it. All right, so, or figure out if you just don't need to remove that account. So anywho, moving on. Okay, so now debt buyer. We have one right here. So LVNV funding. I do not owe $25,576, and why is there a past due on a collection? Remove it immediately, because remember, with a collection, I don't care what type of collection, there should be, number 1, no past due. Number 2, no late payments, right? Because it's a collection, and by default, a collection is late. A collection is past due. So it's actually a violation of the FDCPA for those 2 things to be on there. Just remember that, because you're going to run into issues removing Midland and LVNV and portfolio recovery and all of that, and simply telling them that they need to remove it because you have no contract with them is not the way that you're going to get it off, because you're not going to have a contract with a collection agency. I don't care who the hell they are, okay? So be easy on this. Do it without a hassle for yourself. Stop going back and forth with them and just find what doesn't belong. If you go back to my videos on the FDCPA violations, you're going to see that one of those violations, I think it's towards the end of the video, is past due and late payments on a collection, okay? First progress, I do not owe $154. Now, I'm going to tell you that I have recently stopped. This is very important. Please listen to me. I don't care if you're driving. I don't care if you're watching this. I have recently stopped disputing balances and past due, okay? Not stopped, because if it's going to get the account off, I will get it off. But I found that what is much more effective is to find what actually is inaccurate, cannot be verified, or doesn't belong, which would be the data last activity, data last payment, the payment status details, the required notice of dispute, things like that, okay, because they are much stronger. All a creditor has to say when you say, I don't owe X amount, is say, yeah, they do, and that's it. That's the end of the freaking investigation. So if you don't want to end up in that situation, then you need to rethink the process and do what I'm telling you to do, and look for the inaccuracies, the violations, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so for Jefferson, I consider that just a regular collection. So you can just simply state, I don't know what this is. It's an unknown account. It's an unverified account. It's a whatever. I don't know what it is, and it has to be removed from the credit report. And then, okay, so now we have another one. I mean, I chose these disputes because they had a lot of what I find on many files in general, on average, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm using these for this example, okay? Okay, so if you look at the next one, first progress, the high balance, and yes, I know there is a typo on purpose, even though most of the time I do them accidentally. This is on purpose. Okay, so anyways, the high balance is also inaccurate. TransUnion 500, Experian 0, Experian always going to say 0, and Equifax 163. Delete for inaccuracy. So most of the time I put delete for inaccuracy, delete for, or update account to paid as agreed, or delete for multiple inaccuracies, or delete for violation. I always tell them what I want them to do, because if you're just going to tell them what's wrong with that account, they're just going to correct it. You don't want them to correct it, you want them to remove it, unless you actually want them to correct it. Okay, so look at the next one. First primary, years of late payments after the account was closed. This is a violation, delete account. So going back to the FDCPA violations video, you're going to see one of them is that there should not be any, it might be the SRA video, I don't know. There should not be any late payments after an account is closed. I don't care if, you know, if it's a charge off, I don't care if it's I don't care what it is. If the account is closed, how the hell can you be late? You cannot be late, and it's a violation. They have to remove it. Just remember that, okay? So when we're talking about inaccuracies, we're not talking about whether you owe money. We're not talking about whether the account is valid because it says that you owe $100 and you actually owe $100, okay? When you dispute something, you want to look for the reason it does not belong on there. It is as simple as that. If you cannot find something, then that's completely different. You're looking at the wrong site, okay? So let's go find another one. This is a version of the same letter for a different bureau. Okay, this is a different client. As you can see, this one only has 2 accounts, okay? August and September 2017 payment history is inaccurate and the account needs to be removed. You can't report different info, and there should not be an R there. That was an accidental typo for the same account, okay? So data blast activity is different on all 3 bureaus. Sometimes you do not need to show that there are 3 different dates of blast activity, okay? You might just want to simply put it on there. Now, if they verify it, quote unquote, then you can go back and say, well, hey, you didn't do a proper investigation. How did you verify this? If, show proof, right? If this shows this, this shows this, and this shows this. Okay, so with this one, it's a little bit more simple. So this one is a simple dispute, okay? So it very simply states, on this one, I was not late, you need to update it. On this one, I paid on time, please remove the account immediately. Invalid data blast activity, remove this account. Now I'm going to tell you why. This person did not listen to me when I said sign up for Identity IQ. They went with Privacy Guard or a different site. And so it did not show what I needed to actually see, and I had to pull it up somewhere else, and it took a crap load of time and so hectic. When someone says something and they have your best interest in mind, just do it, please, just do it. So you're not having to, you know, grasp at straws and just figure that something is inaccurate, okay? So if you were using a site that doesn't provide the information that you actually need to get something removed, and yes, that is my assistant one back there, then please pull it up on a different site so that it makes everybody happy, you get the results, and there's absolutely no freaking issues, okay? So, anywho, let's go look at a different one. Okay, so now remember, when you're using the validation of debt method, you want to dispute with the collection agencies as well as the bureaus. Okay, I had to take a minor interlude to give the baby a bottle. So when you're disputing using the validation of debt method, please don't forget that you also need to dispute with the bureaus. If you don't, it's going to be much longer and you're not going to get the results that you want. And make sure that you're not only disputing with the bureaus, you also need to dispute with the collection agencies, okay? So if you have a crap load of collections, right, you can have up to 22 like regular accounts and you can have an unlimited amount of medical accounts, just remember that. All you have to say is, I don't know what this is. Delete it, okay? You don't need to come up with anything fancy schmancy, just, I don't know what the hell this is, you need to remove from my credit report, okay? Okay, so which one am I on? I'm on this one, this is the same. That one is the same. Let me move myself over here and see what else we have. Okay, so inquiries. Okay, I did a video on inquiries where I mentioned that the only permissible purpose for a credit pull is going to be employment, insurance, court order, and was one other one. Firm offer of credit. Okay, I think there's actually 5, but this is the entire point behind this. So this client signed up and they only have inquiries and like one other account. So obviously they should be separate, right? Now with inquiries, there should not be an actual inquiry on your credit report unless you actually have an account that goes with it, because there's no permissible purpose for it, okay? They were supposed to have given you a firm offer of credit, and obviously if they did, you would have an account that goes with it, okay? So this is not that letter, but I was just giving you that information because there is a letter that goes with it, and you could just put that into your own words as well, and then list your inquiries, and then you need to remove it, okay? So this one is a template because there are certain things that you can send to the bureaus where you do want to use templates, such as the reinsertion inquiries, where the bureaus didn't respond, stuff like that. And a reinsertion is it's a 611 violation. Okay, so very simply, list all the inquiries, and it needs to be removed because it's an illegal inquiry. Okay, and then this one was only 4. So as you can see, for credit collection, delete for unknown account unless you can furnish a contract with my signature. Same for the other one. And then USAA, I paid on time, that should say time, March 2016. Update to paid as agreed and remove inaccurate late payments immediately. So I don't want them to remove the account. I want them to update to paid as agreed, okay? And you see how short and concise it is above, because that statement doesn't matter. You just don't want it to be the same. You want to say, this is what I want you to do, and this is that, and that's it, okay? Give me my results, give me my credit report, whatever it is that you want to say. Okay, and lastly, this is another example of a crap load of examples. That's why we're using this one. So these are the items that I'm challenging, and then I very simply listed them and the exact reason that they need to be updated or removed. So 2018 shows as charged off in Experian, but on time for Equifax, and you'll see this a lot, delete for inaccuracy. Okay, I do not owe a balance of $13.29, and remember we talked about that using the balance. Delete account. Data blast activity shows 418 on TransUnion, 718 on Experian, and 118 on Equifax. In addition, this is a closed account, but shows $14.39 monthly payment on Equifax. Delete immediately. Okay. Capital One, I paid on time February 2018, but it shows 30 days late on Experian and 60 days late on Equifax. Delete immediately. Data blast payment shows 1217 on TransUnion, but Experian shows 218. Oh, excuse me, and Experian, but 218 on Equifax. Delete for inaccuracy. Okay. Data last payment shows 1217 on TransUnion and Experian. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Now let's look at Capital One Auto. So this account has a monthly payment of $532, even though it's charged off. How the hell can there be a monthly payment on a closed account? Once the account is closed, you are no longer paying on it, okay? So please, when you are looking at these accounts, you need to understand why you're disputing it, okay? So you understand that this is a negative account and it needs to be removed from the credit report. At least you want it to be removed. But if you can't find a reason for it to come off, then it's not going to come off, okay? That is the entire point behind this. They're not going to remove it just because you want it removed, just because you're being a pain in the ass. You have to have a legal reason why it doesn't belong on your credit report, right? So you have to find these things. A lot of people think that this is just an overnight process and that it's super, super simple. No, dude, it's not simple. You have to have things that you can actually fight, okay? So these are the things that you were looking for, and I want you to learn these things so that you can have great success on your credit files. So remember, monthly payments on closed accounts. I don't care if it's positive and closed. I don't care if it's negative and closed. There should be no monthly payment. And yes, if an account is charged off and has not been sold and you have not paid it, there will be a balance, okay? Okay, so here is another example of a violation. So we're looking at a VANT right now, 13.581. So remove for violation, Experian shows $575 monthly payment. Normally they don't. On a transferred account. That company doesn't even own that account anymore. How the hell can they report a monthly payment or a balance or a past due on something they don't own, okay? learn these violations. In addition, January 2018 shows that I was on time with TransUnion and Experian, but 30 days late on Equifax. So you have multiple reasons why this account should be removed. So how can the bureaus come back and say, oh, this is accurate information? You're telling me that it's accurate that you're reporting something in violation? No, dude, that's not accurate. It needs to be removed. So you need to have the ammunition to actually dispute these things, okay? And then lastly, Ally Financial, you're reporting inaccurate info on the payment history, and the account needs to be updated to paid as agreed. August 2016 shows that I paid on time with Equifax. On time with Equifax shows 30 days late. So the entire point behind this is that I'm not trying to yell at you guys. I'm trying to just explicate that you need to have a reason for removal, okay? So find the reason and put it into your dispute letter. It is as simple as that, okay? So anywho, if you would like a consultation because you don't know what the heck you're doing, or you don't have the time, then that is totally cool. I will find the reasons for removal for you, okay? And you get all copies of your dispute letters. So if you would like, you can go and click down in the description to schedule an appointment with me, okay? So expertcreditsweeps.com/book online. So I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I have a series that I'm starting, but that is it from me. My name is Kristen with Expert Credit Sweeps, and I will see you guys later. Don't forget to go look at the do-it-yourself tools on expertcreditsweeps.com. Just go to the do-it-yourself tab. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you.